Live from beautiful Ashland, Oregon, I am Pleiadian Emissary of Light, Caroline Raw. Thank you all for joining me today. Welcome to Spirit of the Dawn. What a delightful show we are going to have today. About a year ago, I had the pleasure of meeting my guests, Ena Vie and Howard Lipp, when they were doing a concert here in Ashland. Filled with love, humor, and wisdom, Ena and Howard shared their healing music with those of us who were gathered together that night. Ina's powerful voice, woven together with the healing sounds of the instruments, touched my heart. I am so looking forward to sharing their music with you today and learning all about their lives and the magic they weave through all that they do. Ena Vie and Howard Lipp, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to Spirit of the Dawn.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi,
Thank
Caroline.
you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So you guys are on the road. Where are you right now?
Right now, we are in Scottsdale, Arizona, and on our way to do some workshops and a concert in Sedona this weekend and next weekend, and having a really amazing time out in the desert.
Beautiful. Is it warm there? Because many of us are very, very cold. Ashland's freezing.
Well, actually, it was warm a few days ago, but they're having a cold front come in, so it's been a little chilly.
It's about 48 degrees. It's not awful.
So you guys have been on the road. You met about 5 years ago, is it?
Yeah, almost 6 years ago. We met in 2008.
We met in May of 2008.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing, amazing journey. Wow. You have created such amazing works that are so powerful and healing, and you've combined your missions together to create healing music. Ena, can you give us some of your background that brought you to where you are now?
Oh, sure. About 20 years ago, I had a really powerful awakening when I graduated from my undergrad at UCLA, and I moved to the Big Island of Hawaii, and feel like I had an awakening that really put me on my path and my purpose. Although at the time it didn't feel quite like that. It felt very confusing because I had felt like I had undone everything I had known about life. And it put me on a journey of the last 20 years, really, of exploring various traditions, beliefs, indigenous people, and their connection to the earth. I sometimes tell people that I was raised with a relationship to the sky gods, and I spent the first 20 years of my life in religion and connecting to the air and sky and heaven. And the last 20 years, I've been deepening and connecting my understanding and relationship with the earth and with the body and with being in the present and being here. And so it took me all over the world, and I've lived in about 6 or 7 countries, and have traveled to many, many countries and worked with the Native American traditions and the Buddhist path and the Jewish path, and also plant medicine. And it has been quite a journey. I ended up getting my master's degree in Indigenous Studies, and was deepening my understanding of traditional music and devotional music as well during that time. So it was weaving through the Sweat Lodge and through Buddhist mantras and through Jewish prayers and through South American prayers and chants. And when I ended up meeting Howard, it was really a moment of this culmination of all of these different traditions and paths that I had walked down. And I met him as a producer, and it just really was clear that not only were we meant to work together, but as we worked together for a few months, it became clear that we were meant to be together and weave our backgrounds through our creative passion and our purpose of healing and transformational work, both together as a couple and in the community. So it's been quite a journey so far.
Well, thank you. That was wonderful. That was really wonderful hearing all about your exciting life. Very exciting. Howard, you've had a very different path, really, that led you to the very similar place.
Yes, I really have. I'm a self-taught musician from a very young age. Very much the scientist, raised in the Hebrew or Jewish tradition, and it took me a couple of bouts with addiction to really come to terms with my desire for a connection to spirit in a way that I wasn't getting through my family's religious connection. And I went to South America, actually, and it was through plant medicine and through some shamanic work also with Ayurveda that I really developed a connection to spirit and found my path and purpose with music. I've been producing music for a number of years, and I was producing all kinds. Some of it real mind rot. And it was through the work with the plants that I came to understand that my path was to bring a more uplifting vibration through music and through sound. And just about that time that I really came to that awakening, started working with acutonics, which is a sound healing modality with tuning forks. And I came through the 12-step recovery process and eventually got deeper into my healing through plant medicine. And my wife came along in the midst of that as an introduction from a dear friend and yoga teacher. And I knew I was in trouble when she walked in the door because I thought to myself, well, she's here and I'm not ready. And so I just kept my mouth shut and we made a great record. And at some point during that, I just found myself staring way too hard. So I had to say something. So I totally flustered the hell out of Ena. As you could tell from speaking with her, she's never at a loss for words. Well, there was a moment in our experience where I remembered clearly where I said to her, I adore you. And I just want you to know that you don't have to answer. You don't have to respond. You don't have to do anything about it. It's just I'm staring way too much while we're working together to not say something. And that was the first time in my experience with her where she didn't have anything to say. She just kind of looked at me with this, I just swallowed a lemon look.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Would you say for both of you that the plants have been teachers for you?
Yes, yeah. Tremendously.
Yeah. Powerful teachers. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, there's a lot of confusion around and maybe misunderstanding, but I definitely know that in my experience working with many different indigenous ways and traditional paths, helped lay a foundation for me in my healing, that when I did eventually meet the plants, it was a very balancing and deepening of my healing and my coming to understand my purpose, and also healing of my relationship to source, which in my religious background had been really confused and distorted through a variety of reasons, and not any one person in particular, but just the traditional misunderstanding, I think, of what it means to be a human being and have a connection to divinity. So certainly has been a powerful healing tool and has enabled me and both Howard and I to really be clear on our purpose and our path and mission.
And part of that mission is Earth Prayer Project. Can you tell us about Earth Prayer Project, healing the world through music? And soon we're going to play the beautiful Earth Prayer.
Well, a couple years ago when the oil spill was going on in the Gulf of Mexico, I was having a really hard time, as was Howard, with just watching all this oil pour into the ocean and affect not only the marine environment, but all the people involved, also all the people affected, and really didn't know what to do about it. And Howard said to me, well, Ena, can't necessarily go down there right now or help clean up or cut your hair and send it there, all these different things that were going on. And he said, why don't you write a song? And the Ho'oponopono prayer was going around heavily at that time, and it was really affecting me powerfully. And I've spent a lot of time living on the Big Island, and Howard and I both have spent a lot of time on the islands, and it just became clear that this was a prayer that we could offer to take responsibility for our choices as human beings and how it's affecting everyone, from the mineral to the animal, vegetal, human, spirit. We're all connected and interacting and affecting each other. And so this song was written in one night, recorded same night, and it became pretty clear that this was a gift given to us because it was basically a channeled song, and we really felt strongly about wanting to give back. So Earth Prayer Project was basically born, and inspiring us to write songs to help support projects that are working to have clean water and non-privatized water, and also in general just write songs to help inspire and uplift and support projects that are doing good in the world. So that's sort of a quick synopsis of how Earth Prayer Project formed out of the song Earth Prayer.
Well, I absolutely love the song. There's a beautiful video that you created with it, and I'd like to share right now with everyone who's listening today the beautiful Earth Prayer.
We feel it all. We come from the light, and to it we shall return. We are the one, and in this truth we live, here and now upon the earth. This is our home. We have a choice to walk in a good way, make new decisions, pray for peace within us all. We can find strength, together we rise and face the wind. We awaken when we listen to Earth's call. Don't sleep tonight. We have 1,000 songs to sing. These ancient sounds, they lift us out of suffering. Come dance with me, for there is only one prayer, Spirit, creator of all things, of the west and the thunder, of the east and the sun. In the north, the shining elders, and the south, our mother's womb. Toils above and below us, to the seen and unseen. Those who have walked before and after, we ask your assistance to live simply. Please forgive us, for we know not what we do, and we thank you for all you help us through. I'm sorry, forgive me, I offer this healing. I love you and thank you, amen. I'm sorry, forgive me, an open heart I bring. I love you and thank you, amen. I'm sorry, forgive me, I offer this healing. I love you and thank you, amen. I'm sorry, forgive me, an open heart I bring. I love you and thank you, amen. I'm sorry, forgive me, I offer this healing. I love you and thank you, amen. I'm sorry, forgive me, an open heart I bring. I love you and thank you, amen. I'm sorry, forgive me.
Wow, that is so beautiful. We have just had the immense delight of listening to Ena Vie and Howard Lipp's Earth Prayer. You can learn more about Earth Prayer Project at earthprayerproject.com. Wow, that was amazing. How beautiful. And who produced the video that you created?
Well, we did, but our friend directed and edited, Rebecca Hugh. She's really an incredible director, and she was also a co-producer. We were blessed to have her, and she does her work is Kung Fu Barbie Productions.
Okay.
But she was amazing, yeah, and helping us. You know, we did that on a wing and a prayer and a shoestring. So we shot the whole thing in one day, and it was incredible how it all came together. And some of the dance moves between me and this other woman who was doing traditional Indian dancing, none of that was choreographed. None of the moves were choreographed. We just did what we were felt called to do. And then when Rebecca put the video together, there were all these moves we were doing similarly, and it was just incredible to see it unfold. So it's fun to see what you can do on a shoestring budget.
It's really beautiful. Now, you guys mostly live on the road, and I imagine you stay at people's houses, and you've noticed that nobody knows how to get their children to sleep. Is that why you created your latest release, Moonbeams and Starstreams?
You know what? We do stay with a lot of people on the road, and actually some of our dear friends who live up in Santa Cruz have this really incredible son who has adopted us as his second parents, and we've known him since he was 2. And after one time staying with him, it wasn't because he was having a hard time going to sleep, but he just inspired us by his presence. And we went home when we were living in Santa Monica at the time, and wrote this song, Moonbeams. And it wasn't for really a children's album per se. It was just a song that was inspired. And then over the course of the next year and a half, and actually 2 years, we started spending more time with friends some of my friends started having children, and each song kind of became inspired by some of the children we were spending time with. And then we were living up in Topanga, and we started recording the sounds of the owls and the crickets and the birds, the sparrows who were singing while we were recording so much that we said, okay, we'll put the microphone outside and we'll include you in the music. So We also have the Koki frogs from Hawaii that we recorded in a banana grove. And so it just became this album suddenly of music to sleep. And when our adult friends would hear it, they said, well, can we listen to this too? So that's why on the cover it says for children of all ages, because it's really just an album of original lullabies and instruments and instrumental movements that help support relaxation and sleep. And we dedicated it to all of the children of the elementary school in Connecticut, in Newtown, and I think it was Sunnybrook. It was the elementary school, and we're really feeling into the children of the planet and how many may feel afraid to go to sleep or not feel safe, and so we wanted to create something that would support that safety and love and a realization that we're all held and connected by source, even if we don't feel that way at home or we don't feel that way in our environment. And so we created Moonbeams and Starstreams.
And many adults are really dealing with the issues they didn't resolve when they were children and couldn't get to sleep.
Well, that's true too. In fact, many people
working on them.
Yeah. Yes, still working on them now as adults for sure. And not being able to sleep is a real issue for many people. And we know a number of people who have tried many, many different things, from pharmaceuticals to meditation to changing your alpha and theta wave states. And, sometimes nothing really works until you start getting to the core of some of those disconnect or wounding that can happen, that has happened from a very young age. So while the music may not be able to, heal those very core wounds, certainly music can help support the healing and help create an environment of safety and relaxation. So that's what a lot of the words are about, is kind of dreamy, but also knowing that you're loved, or knowing that you're safe, knowing that you're connected. And we wanted to, really tune into the children that are here and coming, just to support them coming into this planet of a lot of unrest and challenge. And at the same time, there's a lot of beauty, and we can elevate our understanding of what it means to be human by focusing on that beauty. So that was the intention ultimately behind the album. It was an organic and unfolding.
That's fun. It's beautiful. The album is called Moonbeams and Starstreams. We're talking with Ena Vie and Howard Lipp, and we're going to get to hear Moonbeams and Starstreams, one of the songs, part of one of the songs. And this does make me yawn and get very relaxed. So I'm warning everyone to try to stay awake, because there's lots more coming. Right now we're going to listen to Moonbeams and Starstreams.
The moonbeams are over the ocean. The stars are shining in the sky. We lay our bodies down now, and sleep will take us through the night. The sun is off to bed now. The day is long been gone. The wind, she whispers at your window. Close your eyes, today your work is done. What are your dreams, little angel? What do you can float to sleep with the fairies, the butterflies, they flutter at your feet. Time for bed, the morning will come quickly. Another day to play, create and be. What are your dreams, little angel? What do you see in your sleep? Know that you are well loved, and your soul is safe at peace. What are your dreams, little angel? What do you see in your sleep? Know that you are well loved, and your soul is safe at peace. Know that you are well loved, and your soul is safe at peace. Your soul is safe at peace.
Oh, how beautiful. That was Moonbeams and Starstreams from the latest album from Ena Vie and Howard Lipp. I'd really love to talk with you about how music and sound heal, because I do sound healing also in my healing practice, and it's absolutely fascinating how it works. And if you could share with us more about your experiences with the healing that you guys do.
Well, one of the things I wanted to say about that last song, Moonbeams, is it goes on for about 9 minutes, and most of the songs in the album are, 8 to 9 minutes long. And part of that is to help create a relaxed state. And, I think Howard can talk more specifically about that and sort of the intention behind why when you say, oh, this music makes me tired, that's actually great, because that's the whole intention, is people say that I didn't make it through the whole album, I fell asleep, and we're like, great, we're doing our work. So, I know Howard can speak more to the intention behind what we play, and what notes and values and what goes behind the music that we create.
Well, slower time signatures tend to bring people more into an alpha state to begin with, and certain musical intervals, like the 1 and 4 or 1 and 5, tend to open. So songs, and this was true of simple rock and roll, where they say it's a 1-4-5 or a 12-bar blues pattern, tends to be opening so that the message can get in. And when you take time to slow down and create a bed using these intervals, but especially the song being in the root chakra key to begin with, tends to create a sense of safety and security. And with the slow tempo, it tends to bring people's breathing down and bring their heartbeat down. So it is sort of musically, consciously, and intentionally slowing people down to a place where they drop in more to a state of alpha, or slow down, become more focused and present to right here and right now. And it's a rare person actually who gets a right amount of sleep and a right amount of rest. So, people who do get a right amount of sleep and right amount of rest actually don't feel all that sleepy when they listen to this music. except at bedtime. But most of us, you've heard people say it before, I'm sure, during meditation. I can't meditate because I always fall asleep, or I can't slow down. And it's more about a deficit in rest than it is about an inability to slow down.
Well, it's very interesting about how sound healing works, and it's really very extensive, and the musical aspects of it, I've never really thought about that much, and thank you for sharing all that, because it's very interesting. I'm not a musician, and thinking about it in terms the way a musician would think of it, it's very interesting. You guys do workshops. What are those workshops like when you're gathered, a whole group of people together?
Well, they're very much about taking people on a conscious and intentional journey through sound, to open and remove blocks, to face their inner challenges, to look at the aspects of themselves that they are maybe not be comfortable with, or maybe not really want to look at. But the best way for us to evolve is to look at those aspects of ourselves. And with sound, part of the healing journey is using different tunings to open and move blocks in the energetic system, in the organ system, in the chakra system. So, I'm also a physicist and a computer engineer. So I can get awfully technical, and I'll try not to do that, because that'll put people to sleep faster than moonbeams will. But there are techniques with sound and with frequencies, especially combining two frequencies with singing bowls, for example, using combinations of pitches that both ground and apply yang energy or yin energy or qi energy, or open that particular point that's blocked, using the sound of the new moon associated along with the sound of Om. And these are frequencies that are actually calculated using planetary information. The period of rotation of the Earth, the orbital period of the Earth around the sun, the day, the solar day, the new moon cycle, the full moon cycle. So these frequencies are actually used, and variations of them. You've heard some people talking about solfeggio tones versus tuning to 440. And what I find and have found through research that's most critical is the intervals between, like C and F, the 1 in 4, or C and G, the 1 in 5, and not necessarily the pitch that C is tuned to in an absolute sense. Like Western orchestral tuning is 440, solfeggio I think is 432, tuning to Om is 435.1. So, there's some various adjustments that we can make to the tuning, but it's not as tremendously impactful on the human body as necessarily the interval of pitches that we use for opening, or for clearing, or for applying qi. So I hope I didn't lose everybody with that. But
Oh, it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. One of the things that you have been talking about, also both of you, is being in the now and facing parts of ourselves. And I've been noticing a new paradigm in bringing ourselves into wholeness, and as a method of healing. And can you discuss that a little bit, this new paradigm of bringing ourselves into wholeness and facing ourselves?
Yes. I think we both can say a little bit about it. One of the things that I think is something to take note of in terms of new versus old paradigms is, I think, one thing that I've been taught, especially with my work with more earth-based people, is that it's a remembrance rather than something new or old. It's remembering who we are, and I think there's an opportunity for many of us who are willing and desirous of facing into that which we are not, so that there's more room and space for who we really are to come forward. And sometimes I often joke and a little bit about when I hear people saying, I'm here to ascend, and I joke and say, well, I'm here to descend. I'm on the descension path, really kind of tongue in cheek, but more speaking about how I feel very called to embody every cell that's in my body with presence, with loving acceptance, loving awareness, and being here in this body on this planet and experiencing it to the fullest, in within my heart, and being guided by my heart with the perspective of this is what we're given in the here and now, and the awareness that there are many dimensions and many different ways to experience the world, not just in the 3D. And at the same time, we're here to be human and celebrate our life, elevate what it means to be connected to Source on Earth, in the now, with each other. And that's not always, as they say in France, c'est pas évident. It's not always so clear and easy to do. But that's why we have each other, and we have tools, and we have support of spirit to help guide us and remember on the path of remembrance. So I think, Howard probably has something to say about that as well.
I do think, I think for me, the thing I found, especially with my life path through the pits of addiction, is that fear, anger, hurt, powerful emotions that are not necessarily comfortable or easy to express, and oftentimes are avoided at all costs. And, part of the work of enlightenment is about lightening up. And literally, it's about lightening up. It's about dropping the things that weigh us down. It's about letting go of hurt and anger and fear. And sometimes that means addressing them head on. And sometimes that means expressing what would be so terrifying to express. I think there was a moment before I told Ena how I felt about her when we were working in the control room, where there was this absolute incredible puckering of my backside, grabbing onto the chair, going, oh my God, the last thing I really want to do is be so vulnerable to say how I felt. And yet it was a crossroads for me about not being able to not say it, because there was just too much energy around it for me. So I had to say it and not have any attachment to what it was going to mean. And I think the same comes up in relationships. Oftentimes we're afraid to say how we're feeling for fear of the result. And it's not necessarily that we're going to, as human beings, or that I'm as a human being going to be able to completely let go of my attachment to the result, but it's about being willing to speak courageously in spite of my fear of the result. And so I think that's a part of looking at our shadows, which is our, big part of them is our fears and the things about ourselves that we don't like to look at or don't like to admit.
And that's a lot of what we cultivate and create within our workshops and our community of healing, is a safe place to explore those realms, so that we can let them go and clear the area, so to speak, so that more love can be present within us, and that we can be more aware of when we're focusing our attention on that which we are not, and focusing our attention on that which we are. And, facing into those fears, as Howard was talking about, or the shadows, is not always like first choice to do, because it can be painful. It's old woundings, it's deep patterns, and coming from a real and valid place. But most often we found those patterns don't serve us anymore. When it's time for us to let them go, they're not serving us anymore. And so it's time to have a new relationship with how we interact in the world and how we communicate, and taking a really good hard look at our patterns.
Absolutely amazing and beautiful. Thank you so much, Ena Vie and Howard Lipp, for sharing all your wisdom with us. It resonates with me deeply, deeply, deeply. And and I'm sure that it's very helpful for people to hear about the new paradigms that are happening with us as new energy is available to our planet that supports new ways in healing and new ways for us to experience ourselves. You have a lovely website, enavie.com, and there's also accessmundyentertainment.com, but enavie.com is where to listen to all the beautiful music, and you have an album coming up that's going to be released soon called Filled with Light.
Yes.
We're going to get to hear Rise, which is one of the selections from Filled with Light. Can you tell us about this new album that is coming up?
Yeah, it's been actually an album that's been long awaited. We have yet to find a way to be on the road full time and producing albums at the same time. A lot of these songs on this album have been queued up and ready to go since we've been working on it this year, and so we're really excited about releasing it early coming up in 2014. And these songs are really about celebrating and focusing on the light within us and the love within us and how we can respond to life from that perspective. It's definitely still a work in progress, and this song Rise is not quite complete yet, but we wanted to share, give people a little taste. And similar to Earth Prayer, this song Rise was written when the tsunami hit in Japan, and as we know, I mean, it's just creating so much emotional confusion and turmoil and fear within us with nuclear reactors and what the effect is having on the ocean and the air and each other as human beings. And this song was written in response to that. When I noticed how the Japanese people responded to the event, it was they showed up anyway, and I think that's really what all we can do is, no matter what is going on, we rise and we live our purpose, because that is bringing a frequency and an offering to our lives and to those around us and to the planet, for that matter, that's on a level that's connected to source and love. And when I know, for me personally, when I'm standing in the frequency of love versus standing in the frequency of fear, I'm more open, I'm more trusting, and I'm more willing to create and give and be available to not only my own inner guidance, but to the needs of others around me. And so Rise was written from that place, and I hope everybody enjoys it.
Thank you. We're going to listen to the very beautiful Rise from Ena Vie Howard.
Quite what it means. Those nights we lay awake and dreamed as the dawn chased the stars to the milky streams. We rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. This offering we bring. Spread my love like the ocean. In my heart I felt its worth. A new dawn came, showed us another world. Danced through the holy realms towards our rebirth. So we rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. This offering we brave and beautiful. Let nothing but your soul take hold of your light. Yes, be brave and beautiful. Let nothing but your soul take hold of your light. So we rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. This offering we bring. Yes, we rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. We lift our voice and sing. Oh, we rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. This offering we bring. Yes, we rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. We lift our voice and sing. Yes, we rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. This offering we bring. We rise up and live. Give what we've come to give. We lift our voice and sing.
That's beautiful. That is Rise from the upcoming release Filled with Light from Ena Vie and Howard Lipp. We have a little bit more time on the show today, and we're going to be closing with a very fun version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And Ena, you have put together a giveaway for those who are listening today. We're going out live on December 5th, right approaching or in the middle of the holiday season. Can you tell us about what you've put together for our listeners?
Yeah, we wanted to do a giveaway this morning. So the first 5 people that connect and with us on our website using our contact on the email page, we're going to give away this song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, to the first 5 people. So we hope you guys enjoy the song. And I think at some point, maybe next year, Howard and I, we're cultivating. We've got about 4 or 5 songs so far, and I think by that time we'll have a few more and we can release a Christmas album. It's just something we've been doing for fun, and so this is one of the songs from that album during the winter season that we like to give. So we hope that people enjoy that.
Thank you, Ena. That's really lovely. We're going to be closing the show with Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, which gives us about 1 minute. And you have shared so much wisdom with us, but can in 1 minute you guys just share a little bit more?
Yeah, I think, Howard has something to say.
Right, good.
The most important thing that we have ever learned in the process of transformation is to recognize that if something isn't love, that it isn't me, and to have loving allowance for my humanity. It can not only be a source of healing, but it can also be a source of tremendous amusement when we get to laugh at our own shortcomings and just know that that's humanity. In any given moment, a snapshot may not be of us at our best, and another snapshot might be very different.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you, Howard. We have had an amazing time with Ena Vie and Howard Lipp, and you can check out their beautiful website, enavie.com. And for the first 5 who fill out the contact form and send them in, they'll be receiving this really, really beautiful version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, and thank you, Ena and Howard.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks for having us, and thank you, everyone, for listening.
Happy holidays, whatever you're celebrating.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years, we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more.